The cover of the winter 2024 issue of Georgia Backroads features Colonel William Alden Choate, 38th Ohio Infantry of the Union Army. This prompted an irate subscriber to write, quote, "Putting a damn Yankee invader on the front of Georgia Backroads is an insult. I will never re-up. The writer is a damn New York Yankee and this article should never have been in a Georgia magazine." The subscriber didn't think it appropriate to honor Colonel Choate, who was mortally wounded in battle at Jonesboro on September 1st, 1864. 11 days later, he died in Marietta. Have we reached the point where honoring those who died serving the country is contentious? Georgia Backroads delves deeply into American history. We've been doing so for 41 years, and most readers understand what we're doing and express appreciation for our efforts. But Americans have been debating how we interpret and present our history, creating some friction and disagreement. So I'll share with you the reason we chose Colonel Choate for our cover and the way we deal with issues that may trigger one side or another in today's politically and culturally tense environment. Is the environment tense on both sides? Absolutely. Here's a scrawled note from an unhappy subscriber in Sawtee, Nakuchi. Quote, "No longer subscribe. Too much iffy history with Confederate white supremacists and not enough true diversity on how and who built Georgia. Not enough truth. Y'all regressed. Hate it 'cause we used to love the mag." Her letter arrived in late November 2021. 2 days later, our winter 2021 issue hit the stands and reached subscribers through the mail. The cover shows Susie Baker King, a former slave. The unhappy subscriber in Sawtee, Nakuchi received this issue but didn't follow up with us. So far as we know, she no longer reads the magazine. We don't set targets for story subject matter or who appears on the magazine's cover. Selection is based solely upon merit and appeal to GBR readers. Our contributing writers choose their topics. We never give them assignments. Therefore, the variety presented in the magazine is natural and serendipitous. All kinds of people and places on the covers, all kinds of stories in the magazine. In the past 15 years, we've had many covers featuring Black Georgians. Autumn 2011, Winter 2012, Spring 2016, Spring 2021, Winter 2021, and Spring 2023. And we've had scores of stories about Black Georgians and the myriad ways in which they've contributed to our history. This makes sense since the state is about 1/3 Black. We cover all of Georgia history, so sometimes we have stories or covers devoted to Union men who served in the state during the Civil War. Here are the covers: Spring 2010, Spring 2011, and of course, Winter 2024. Likewise, Confederate soldiers and leaders have often been featured. Far too many articles to mention here, but here are the covers: Summer 2010, Winter 2011, Autumn 2013, and Summer 2020. The most recent was General George T. Anderson on the Summer 2020 cover. That issue came out just a day or two after the murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis. It was printed weeks before and mailed to subscribers earlier that week, so there was no avoiding the jarring timing. I believe this cover provoked the complaint by the Sawtee, Nakuchi subscriber. That brings us to the photo of Colonel Choate on the Winter 2024 issue. I was confident most readers would appreciate a tribute to Union soldiers slain in Georgia, but knew that a few might take offense. Should we have taken the chance? We'll never achieve 100% approval on anything, especially in today's environment, so that's not the standard. Instead, we strive for excellence, thoroughness, accuracy, and fairness. Last fall, freelance writer Chuck Lyons of Rochester, New York, sent us the story. He's contributed to the magazine before. His new story told about the efforts of a Union prisoner of war to record the names of his comrades who died and were buried at Camp Sumter at Andersonville. It seemed like a perfect story to use for a Vanishing Georgia feature. We already had a file of photos of Union soldiers who died in Georgia. The article became a beautiful tribute to those who died here while doing their duty. We titled it, quote, "Vanishing Georgia, May Their Shadows Be Preserved," close quote. The title came from this photo on file at the Library of Congress. At the same time, we decided to create a sequel in the spring 2025 issue, recognizing the sacrifices of Georgia soldiers killed during the Civil War. We already had access to David Vaughn's marvelous collection of Georgia Civil War photos, but didn't have a likely story in hand, so in October, I began sketching an outline to get things started. But in November, Tamara Bowles, a regular contributor from Kennesaw, submitted a story that was a great candidate. It is about correspondence between a Confederate soldier and his wife. Theirs were simple words of longing for home and their regard for one another and their children. The article is entitled, quote, "Vanishing Georgia, Give My Love to the Children," close quote. I can't show it to you yet because it'll be in design for the next few weeks, but it's coming. It probably won't mollify the subscriber who wrote, quote, "The damn Yankees died because they invaded a country that declared its independence," close quote. Rather uncharitably, he added, quote, "All those Yankees killed in Georgia would not have died had they kept their butts in the North. They brought their deaths upon themselves," close quote. I'm confident most Georgia Backroads readers strongly disagree with the sentiments expressed by the two former subscribers. Most readers know that we try fairly and accurately to present Georgia history. We don't shy away from tough subjects, nor do we moralize or inject contemporary jargon into stories. Sometimes we make mistakes, but working with history the way we do is fun and fulfilling work. One more thing. I hope a photo of a Georgia Confederate will make the cover of the spring 2025 issue. My designer, Cliff Johnson, will offer his recommendations based upon the quality and importance of suitable photos, but if we can do so, then the winter 2024 and spring 2025 issues will serve as bookend tributes to Americans, North and South, who died doing their duty during our Civil War. Thank you for watching this Georgia Backroads program.